Hello.
Oh, thank God.
I'm taking it that we're in a. Oh yeah, it is on air. Okay, you have an on air because I had to. That's a first. I didn't have. I had to sign a disclaimer there. I guess before coming in.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
That's interesting.
Excuse me a second, just
Yes. Stand by.
Rich, please. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. We've got it
Oh,
now.
yeah. Okay.
Oh, a bloody mess, you know.
That's all part of the learning process.
Right. Oh.
There we go.
Ah, Jamie.
Hello.
We're on air.
Look. Okay, guys. According to this, we are now on air.
Okay.
So, sort of here. Yeah. I hope that's whiskey you've got there, Rich.
Pardon?
I hope that's whiskey you've got there.
No, it's actually seltzer. It's
I hate that stuff.
yeah. Well, actually, it would be better with some whiskey in there, or maybe some vodka, maybe.
Okay. Okay, can I just ask, Jamie, can you hear us okay?
Yes, can hear you both absolutely clear.
That's
I
great.
hear Jamie a lot better.
Okay, that's fine. There's a wee bit of talk back somewhere, but that's fine. Okay. Where do we go from here then? Because now we're on air, and at least if we just maybe if I just paint a picture that this should have happened at 18:30 hours GMT this evening, and due to the common problems with Google Plus Hangouts, using the event selection is what causes all the problems.
And Mac, I'm on your YouTube channel, and I see HOA. You are definitely on there.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you very much. You can tell me how to do that later.
I got another computer. I'm toggling in between.
Okay.
And I have a YouTube just a YouTube page up, and I just put your McConklin James. I took it that was your page, and it's showing it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, Jamie, this is we've had massive complications, and as I said before, that a great man, Ronnie Bincer, who is an amateur pro, if you like, on Google Plus or Google Events, and well, there's that word again. And Ronnie's been very helpful to try and paint a picture of how people are getting caught in this trap. So if you ever yourself, Jamie or Rich, want to have a live hangout on air and invite people, never use the event selection. You really have to go to I'll just go to the selection, and
Okay.
I'm trying to remember exactly what. Okay, basically what you have to do is you have to select not an event, you have to select, it says the words online. Now, what's the words? Well, if it's not got event in it, that's the one you want.
Okay. I think that, yeah, I mean, that's a lot of the problem, isn't it? It's just the confusion between the different terms that are used on Google Plus, and obviously then you've got the whole complication with the different operating system as well, like with the iOS and the Windows and the Mac operating system and everything. I think it is just because it's not straightforward. That's where the problem is, isn't it? Really, I think once it's practiced a bit more, then hopefully it should, just. I mean, yeah, it's not as user friendly, obviously, as it could be, compared to things like Audio Boo, for example. Yeah.
Audio Boo is nice and simple, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I take it it's like driving a car. When we first started driving a car, it was really complicated and very, mind-boggling. But once you started driving and stuff, it became easy and easy. I think Google Plus is the same because I've done some Hangouts. I've done a couple podcasts where I've just gone on myself and recorded it and stuff. But this is like the second or third time I've been in a session where there's been more than one person. and it just I thought, wow, there are some more things to learn about it. Especially, I didn't know the difference with the difference of iOS, because I thought once you're on the internet, boom, it's everybody's on an even playing field there. I didn't think there would be that much of a difference.
Yeah, unfortunately, it absolutely is not, and the reason for that is that I'm trying to find Ronnie's tags here. Sorry, while I'm talking. Yeah, I've got it here. You know, it's quite funny. If I take your screen, I tend to lose my flowy conversation. Okay, so yeah, iOS devices. I'll explain that part because I have a good knowledge of that now. And if you have an iOS device, I have an iPhone 4S here. I have an iPad 3rd generation, and I knew that you cannot do anything really with it. As you all know, Nick Holloway Vox has his contemplative listening series. Okay, and if I join Nick on any iOS device, even though that goes live, I will not. My participation will not be live. If you know what I'm trying to say. So you know how we're looking just now at the film strip at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, say for example, Jamie, that you were on board and Rich was on board from a desktop with Nick, and I was on board via an iOS device. What the people viewing that would see, and in the YouTube recording, would be you live, Rich live, and of course Nick's scenario live. Nick's scene live. But the middle window, in this case, if it was me, would be static. So I can't participate. I can't make a comment. I can't talk to him. Can't do anything. All it records is the fact you were there, and it will say in the Hangout, McColgan hung out with Nick Holloway Vox.
Oh.
Okay.
Does that clarify that?
That's quite useful. That could be useful if you just wanted to sort of check in and see what was going on. But obviously, yeah, then there's the participation element, which is important. Yeah. Obviously.
Well, yeah, and that's the biggest problem. Although, you know, when we talk about Nick's content of listening, basically, I use it whether I can join in physically, as it were, through an iOS device. I just use it to chill out for the 10 minutes, you know, so it doesn't matter. But when you have something like this, where you want to be active, let's face it, we all like to talk, then it wouldn't work. You're locked out, basically. All you can do is watch what's going on. And, of course, as far as I know, with these live on-air Hangouts, you can have up to 9 others in your Hangout on the film strip. So that would be 9 people who could participate in the Hangout. But if it is made public, then as many people as possible could watch it. But they would not be...
Mac, if I could interject something, I'm not signed in on my other box, and I'm getting an error and I can't view it. But on my Google Plus timeline, there's a YouTube window, and it's being viewed. I think it's because you have it in a limited state. As far as, I guess I got invited, it was limited as far as if I recall on the invitation. So I don't know if that has something to do with it either. But I'm able to view the video right now in my Google Plus timeline.
Yeah.
But when I toggle over to my other box, I'm on just a regular, I'm not signed in. YouTube, it has HOA, but the box is all fuzzy with the statement in the middle, an error occurred, please try later. So it's not totally on air as far as outside the Google Plus environment, I think.
Okay.
So are you talking about in your timelines, in your stream on Google Plus?
Yeah, in the Google Plus timeline. I'm signed into my Google Plus. I have a window. Jamie's up now, and I see you, Mac. But when I go to my other desktop, I got a KM switch. I'm toggling in back and forth on an independent. You know, I'm not even signed into the on the browser there. I'm just getting HOA is your title, and then it's a YouTube window, and it just says an error occurred. Please try again later. So I don't know if once you're done recording this, that it'll default.
Okay. Did either of you hear that that little bit of the sound? It just kind of doubled up there, so there was almost like an echo. Did anyone else hear that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I just opened up the
It was on your
YouTube
timeline.
browser. I went to Mac's channel on YouTube, and it said Hangout on air now live. Click the link, and just to check if what was happening on your screen was happening at my end as well. And on mine, I can now see us talking in the Hangout. So maybe, Rich, if you refresh that window, it might come back.
Then again, it's on a box set. I just get a start button in the middle, and then an error occurred. But then again, this is Vista, so on this box. So
Okay.
But if I was to go, what if I do my regular YouTube here? Go ahead. I was just looking at the other box, and so, but if it's in the timeline, it should be broadcasting, like I guess what you're saying, Jamie.
Yeah, it's broadcasting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Nick's Nick Colloway's just made a comment in my timeline saying, "There you are, McColgan."
Yeah, I just see Nick's. He just said at Google. Yeah, I just got it on the iPod Touch here.
And he's saying he's watching the Hangout live on YouTube, which is fine. Okay, guys.
So
see, before we go any further, and thanks. Obviously, Nick can hear us and see us, so thank you, Nick. How do you guys get to see my YouTube? I can't see it. I'm trying to find out how I get to see it, and it's
I just googled you. I just googled McColgan James YouTube, and the channel was the first thing that came up.
That's the same way I did it too.
Okay, because it's not coming up my normal YouTube channel. It's come up with something else. You typed in, sorry, what did you put in, Jamie?
McColgan James YouTube.
Okay.
Or else you just go to YouTube and type McColgan James, and I usually the search bar in the.
Okay, let's see what happens. This is handy having iOS devices.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll just go straight to YouTube up and type in because what I'm getting is Nick's. See if this comes up. No, I can't even get it, and it's my YouTube channel.
Okay. It says live now. Yeah, it says live now.
Hold on. What I can do is this. If we now go back to Hangout and go to chat, and then I paste in that link. Hopefully now in your Hangout you should have a link.
I'll just refresh it.
Yeah, Jamie, I'm seeing it on my other box, and it was just some residual spider webs on my box there, so I'm getting it now.
Okay. Oh yeah, I've got it here. So okay, so.
And
it's okay. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I was still looking. I was just trying to see if we could see how many viewers there were at the moment in either window. But
I think Jamie. I think Mac is the only one. There is a way when you do open up.
Okay.
Only the host
on the YouTube, and if you just go to. Let me see if this works. I want to open up another window with Mac. If you, at the YouTube page, if you just go to the individuals. Oh, let's see. I got two different keyboards here.
6 watching. Yeah, I can see it now. Thanks, Rich.
Okay, right there. Do you see at the activity or the feed line and stuff like that?
Yeah, that's right, in the activity line.
I found that on some other YouTube lives, and I wonder how many, and I just came across that by accident. So, oh, that's pretty neat. As far as
yeah.
So it's something that's not just limited to the host. Like right now, I got 2 watching.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to catch up with you guys here, so you just carry on.
Yeah. No, there's 3 watching. So if you bring up the feed line, it'll show that Mac has a HOA and it says live now in the red and 3 watching. And I started using that. I use that a lot on I guess you know Jane Boyd there. She's done 45 conversations. So to find out if she's on, if I'm at work, if I'm on a coffee break, which I've caught a couple of them, I'll check that. And
Sure.
it's a good, as far as just to see who's on live that I know and I do follow and keep tabs on and stuff like that. Because sometimes it's probably 10, 15 minutes into their broadcast that they finally tweet something out. So when she was really doing a lot of the 45 conversation hangouts, which quite a few of them were some really good interviews with some good people.
Yeah.
And,
I've listened to a few of Jane's stuff. Because she's proficient now because she's done so many hangouts that, as you said, Rich, it's like driving a car. Now she's
it's just like I think one of the very first ones I tagged in on some Bernie Goldbach was doing something, a demonstration with Paul Amani, and I didn't speak or anything, but I was able to chime in. I guess he opened it public, so. Like I said, this is something new. You don't do it that much, so it's something like it's a new experience. So it's just pretty amazing. I just happened to be on a day off, and I wanted to get all my work done outside, and it's like, geez, I think Mac's going to have his hangout here at 1:30. I better get cleaned up and sort of give me an excuse to just sort of kick back here in the afternoon.
Well, I think there was a lot of confusion over time schedules, and Don Brown pointed that out, that people are getting confused where I was putting 18:30 hours and not putting GMT. So people over in your place, like Eastern Standard Time or further afield, Don actually thought this was going ahead at 6:30 his time.
Oh no, I'm keyed in because a lot of people like you, Mac, and Paul Amani and Bernie Goldbach and stuff. I'm aware. You know, I got my clock set on London time here, one of my selections. So it's like, oh, okay. I know they're having dinner while I'm having lunch. So I sort of fully aware of that as far as the time difference and stuff. And you have to be, I guess, on this thing called the internet, especially using the. You know, if my grandfather was alive, he'd be freaking out right now because he's an old shortwave radio guy, and this is, he would just be fascinated with this.
Yeah. It's fascinating stuff, but as we've seen, it's not straightforward.
No.
It would be great. I think I've got it now, but I may try a few dummy runs, as they say, before I schedule a hangout on air, and I refuse to use that word. You know the word I'm talking about.
Well, I was explaining to a friend of mine I hadn't connected in a while that I used to work with, and he's predominantly uses his Skype, and he'd lost track of his Skype, and we ended up getting on Skype, and I had to find my password, and then it's just one of those things. Okay, let's switch. We got the bugs worked out on the Skype. Let's switch over to the Google Plus. So give him a chance to see what Google Plus is about, because I wanted to show him to that experience. And well, he was having problems. He could talk, but he couldn't get his camera up. And I said, well, do you still have your Skype up? And he says, no, it's turned off. And I look on my iPod Touch on the Skype, and I said, well, you're still in the green, so you evidently got something on that's conflicting, because you can only have one camera up for one program. And it's, oh yeah, okay, I do have something, let me quit. And lo and behold, he pops in and whatnot. So it's pretty neat as far as being able to share that and stuff like that. Because he has a lot of family, so where in Skype it's sort of a one-on-one. I said, in this platform you can get yourself along with 9 people, and that's you can have a regular family gathering in a manner of speaking.
Yeah, I think that's the great thing about it, is that for example, Jamie could just have an on-air hangout. He could have the event type and invite all his friends to just hang out, as it were, without recording, without it going live on air. Or he can have the same thing and have it live and recorded onto YouTube for posterity, basically. And Jamie's involved in... Jamie, what kind of art do you call it? I mean, I've listened to your stuff and I've enjoyed some of your stuff, but what is your kind of art again?
Well, I suppose it's definitely there's definitely the spoken word poetry kind of element to it, which is something that I've been focused on. But there is the visual kind of cartoonist kind of element to it as well, and it's very difficult to kind of, without separating them into their own individual art forms, to come up with a term that encompasses it all in one thing. So, and I mean, it's always kind of evolving. Years ago, I was using, building websites and learning how to use Flash and things like that for animation, because I did a traditional animation degree, which was more geared towards filmmaking, short animated films, kind of on an independent scale. And then after leaving university, I was left without any of that kind of old filmmaking equipment, because it was filming on 16mm and all that kind of stuff, as opposed to digital, which had just come in. And then I kind of tailed on to Flash a little bit, learned how to use that, didn't really enjoy it that much, and then it kind of everything sort of went, well, I don't know what I'm going to do now, and then it all came back to the poetry, which was a good way of getting my ideas out there and actually being able to communicate my creative ideas properly. And then the cartooning sort of came back into that as well, as a way of illustrating books and stuff like that. So that's without trying to make it too elaborate, my explanation. I'm trying to keep it as concise as I can, but yeah, it's something that I don't often actually talk about what's going on. I just kind of throw myself into it and make the products. Yeah.
And let the viewer have the end result of viewing it.
That's right, yeah. Which is great now with things like YouTube and Twitter and Audioboo and everything else, because you get that audience. But as long as as long as the stuff is of a certain standard, you'll get feedback. It's great.
The content is interesting and stuff, and I think even now with the YouTube, I'm finding some of the YouTubes I'm watching, it's just ordinary people, which I think is a unique thing, because I think people are sort of sterile to TV itself is regular television shows. It's like other than say Discovery History and the History, Discovery, and National Geographic's channel, I don't watch regular TV at all here in the States. It's just I'm just thankful football, well, American football, I should say, is starting with the preseason here and stuff. But regular television, I'm ready to turn my television off. And there's a YouTube that Bill Elders, who I know Mac knows.
That was great.
He was an outstanding guy. He's probably my most favorite YouTube guy, because he's very sincere in what he does. And as far as you're paying for all this television, but you only have 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
And you're just sort of giving them the money. So you scale down. And I think that's one of the things with the YouTube. I actually watch probably in a week more YouTubes on things of interest and just maybe fixing things. First just looking on Amazon, looking through the reviews, and they'll key me into going over to YouTube to find something related to that. And it's a wealth of information, but it's a process of searching. A lot of people don't have the patience to search through it, because it's sometimes it's like finding a needle in a haystack for some of the information and stuff. But then the other stuff, like on the art side, that you sit here and you go, wow, how'd they do that? It just blows me away. And it's just, I get more enjoyment watching the content that's on YouTube than I do on regular television now, because a lot of things, to be granted, it's on the verge of garbage, basically. As much money they put into productions of it and whatnot, it just and I think that shows that they're trying to intertwine some of the stuff on the internet with the television, with Twitter especially, because now all the news agencies here. That's one of the things I think Bernie Goldbach has mentioned. It's on the bottom timeline. It's not breaking news. It's somebody's Twitter line, and they're just. And there's a couple TV stations that I think they stream certain selections that get their views across. Which so I don't trust their Twitter lines unless I look at them myself. You know, so it's one of those things. Somebody's telling you something, don't take it until you get like three of your own sources to back check it, I guess. So, but it's pretty interesting stuff. And but you have a YouTube channel then, Jamie?
Yeah, I had two. I had the first one I started in 2006, and then I've had since 2006. I think I've had about 300 views. It may even have been less, and that was really. There was only a few things on there just to kind of test it, see how it was going. Did a few little small animations and things like that, and then when Google Plus started, I used a different. I set up a new account. And obviously, in setting up a new Google Plus account, you get a new YouTube account with that. So I've started using that other channel now. But, which is just connected straight to my Google Plus account. Yeah. But I think you're right in saying about TV and the choice that you have on YouTube as opposed to what you get with your TV package. But I think definitely. The main providers of broadband over here, they package it, they bundle it in, don't they? They bundle the TV in with the internet, and a lot of people, and I'm totally guilty of this, of subscribing to that, knowing full well that there are other broadband providers that will just provide me with broadband, but just not. Just not really making that decision to do that, which is a bit silly because I could get by with an Xbox plugged into a broadband line with a TV and kind of love film and YouTube and BBC iPlayer, and it's all there. You don't need the TV package as well.
Well, absolutely, and I think the thing is with obviously integration now, and it's going all the time. Integration, obviously, as you said, Jimmy, there, if you have a Google Plus account and you want to do things like this, you need to set up a YouTube account that then will be tied into every broadcast you do on this, any Hangouts you do on air, and it also means then you've got links to other people's videos, etc. Listen, guys, I'm just going to have to pop away just now. If I disappear, okay, keep talking now, but someone's just called me at the door, so.
Oh, okay.
And I need to. Okay.
You're right back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got the same thing, Jamie. With we got it's Time Warner, where I've got the cable, I got the telephone, and the cable, and my son, and my wife, they use it. So we've got the well, one time we had DSL and Time Warner. They wanted to. They kept on knocking at the door because I had DirecTV and I had a regular telephone through Verizon. So I had DSL, and they kept on saying, "Well, we can." And I said, "Well, if you drop," and that's back when they were charging like $60 American a month for broadband. And I said, "That's too much." I'm getting DSL for 29 bucks, half that price. If you can bring it under 30, then I'm jumping automatically. And I guess I'm not an economics expert, but you figure if you lower the price on something, you're gonna get more people. That's going to mean more profit in the long run and stuff like that. But there's this new thing. It's Verizon is called Vios, which is going to be in most of the metropolitan areas like New York City, Syracuse, and Albany, New York. They're located there, and they're giving Time Warner a run for their money, so there's competition. So I think when you have competition, it's good for the consumer. But for me, like my wife and I, we're raised that you always have a landline, and everybody's going to cell phones and stuff like that. And I've got my cell service is, I don't know if you're familiar with Track Phone.
No.
Okay, it's a monthly. I pay as you go, so I pay for 3 months service, And it's usually like I think it's like $21, and I get so many minutes. And I got a phone now that I get double minutes. So I'm not constantly on the phone, but I'm connected there. So we're starting to look at, we all have track phones in the family. It's like, do we really need this other phone? But it's like, it's our home phone, you know.
Yeah, and you used to having that. Like
yeah, I'm acclimated to that, and it's a process to. It takes a little bit to. Okay, I think once we do get, cut the tether and get rid of it, which eventually we're leaning towards that, along with our TV, we're going to cut it down to the basic. Time Warner won't like that, but as far as the internet connection, we're keeping the full boat because we're constantly on it. I mean, it's just a communication tool. Like right now, my daughter called. We took her back to college this weekend, and she just had her first day of classes, and she called on her iPod Touch. They have Wi-Fi there, so it's calling the home phone here, and it just the intertwining of systems and stuff. I'm fascinated with, but then you got to look at, well, I'm spending so much money here. I can cut that down, because like I said, it comes down to where you suddenly realize I'm just giving them money.
Yeah,
for it to be back in my wallet.
Yeah, but I think that's it. Like with you've got the big three over here: you've got BT, Sky, and Virgin.
Okay.
And I think it doesn't matter which one you're with. The other two, one of them will be bombarding you with leaflets through your door at least once or twice a month, and the other one will be cold calling you in the evening at least once a month. So you just can't escape.
How do those three price-wise and stuff like that service? Is one better than the other, or?
I think that it is very competitive in terms of price, and I don't really pay that much attention to who is really the best value out of the three, which I should, I suppose. But it certainly was the case that Virgin was better value than Sky. Sky was more expensive traditionally, and BT was the one that had the more traditional landline service that's come from the traditional landline service. But then more recently they've come into offering their TV package as well. That's been something that they've only in the last 2-3 years have got, they made a name for themselves that way as well.
Right.
So but because they had the total monopoly of the market with the landlines, there was no one else. It was just BT for years and years. And years.
There's some portions of the country here, especially out west, California and Oregon, Washington up there. They got Comcast. Comcast, they're like Time Warner here. They're the only game in town, unless you go satellite or the MiFi bit for service there. And but I guess the one lucky thing I don't have compared to Comcast out west is they got a data cap, even with the home service, which I think sucks. But I guess if somebody has a spreadsheet, well, we can make more money if we cap it. And I guess in some cases, the majority of the cases, people aren't going to go over their cap, but the diehard internet junkie there is going to definitely go over every month.
Can I just butt in, guys? I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go. As I said, it would be 8 o'clock at the latest.
Okay.
And I hate to leave you guys because it was a good conversation.
Yeah, it's good.
So,
good.
Look, do you just want to carry on for a bit till 8 o'clock, or do you want to just?
Yeah, we can keep going today. That's good with me.
You do that, if Chris is and if Rich is okay with that.
Yeah, I still got some time. Like I said, I'm just hanging out here as far as this is my Saturday.
I'll try and pop back in before 8 to say cheerio.
Okay. Great. Nice speaking to you.
All right, Mac.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
I work the normal Saturday and Sundays. I'm at work. I'm sort of like the caretaker where I work at and stuff. So I usually have a Monday, Wednesday, and this past weekend is actually the first weekend first tradition, regular Saturday, Sunday I've had off because we're taking my daughter back to college this weekend as colleges start. And actually, I guess regular grade school, high school starts this week. coming up
Right.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I was just, like I said, I knew Mac had his event notification there, and I said, well, geez, I don't have anything to do, and if I get some work done, and I was out chipping wood over on the other side of my garage there. I got a bunch of this brush pile, as you would call it, of all these limbs and stuff. I'm trying to cut big limbs into small limbs.
Okay.
So and the weather cooperated. I thought it was going to rain, but we got a nice day going here. I don't know. I guess it's
That's
raining
good.
over your way.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah,
We were at a festival on Saturday. Me and my wife. I was actually performing in the evening, and did it was fine. It was a nice day. Well, some of the day was nice. There was a lot of rain, but overall, in terms of enjoying the day, it was a nice day. The festival went on until today, and we just saw a Facebook update earlier on saying that they've had to cut the last day short because of the field is completely waterlogged. There's
okay, yeah,
it's just so yeah, it's been quite bad weather this weekend, which is not great. Going back to the TV package thing, I'm just going to throw this in there just whilst we're still on air, just because I'm aware that someone might come on and watch this afterwards.
Exactly, yeah.
I just want to say that, I did say that one of the Virgin or Sky might be better value than the other, might have thrown BT in there as well. But I don't actually know for sure. So if you're watching this back and you're saying, "Oh, Jamie just said that," but he's making it up, I just kind of want to
you got to make sure
any potential
clarify.
viewers.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that one is better than the other.
Yeah,
I know that that's something that people.
I think what it comes down to, the individual consumer has to pick it out, and they determine the value and stuff like that. And I guess that it's one of those things. I think I'm getting value on what I'm getting, but I'm not using all the services. So it's just like, I guess my point, the TV. I think the TV, it's there. But like some of the news, because we're getting into the political season and stuff like that, and there's certain news agencies you want to follow and stuff. And the best thing that I found, and that goes back to a couple of years ago when I first started following Bill Elders. He loves the BBC. He said, watch the BBC. Because it's straight, because we got so many opinions on all the channels. It doesn't matter which side of the aisle and stuff like that. It becomes it's like, oh my God. That's why I guess, again, with the internet, being able to look at multiple news services instead of the talking heads, I guess you could say. So there's some value there, but it all comes down to how much time do you have in the day to really watch TV. I know as a kid, I was glued to the TV. It's just like, as soon as I got home, it's like boom. I was, but now it's just like I'll look at the schedule, and it's like, there's nothing really on, and I'm usually right here in the corner here of the computer desk, checking things out if I'm not out in the garage tiddling around, tinkering around with something. But it just comes down to the value and stuff like that. But that's interesting. I didn't realize you had like 3 carriers, and I thought there was just like one carrier for all of. You're over in England, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, and then just getting the feed from Bernie Goldbach. He's got like one service, and you got to really watch, because by American standards, you guys are paying a lot more than what we would be paying for. I guess things are just more expensive, I think, in Europe as a whole. Because I did live over in Italy, northern Italy, there for a while, for several years. I was in the military, so I was stationed over there in northern Italy, and so I got the feel for you. The only time I spent in England was getting off a plane and getting on a plane. I think I had time enough to go right outside the base to the pub and get a pint, and I could say I had a pint in England. But I've never. It's one country there I've never really had a chance to see. As far as I've been over there to Spain, traveled through Spain, Italy, Austria, Germany. My sister was in Germany for a time there, and this is going way back. We're talking like 15, 20 years ago when I was still in. And I even had a chance before they broke up when it was still Yugoslavia. I drove down the coast of Yugoslavia, which was, probably the best trip I ever had because it's a very picturesque coastline going down there all the way to Dubrovnik,
Excellent.
I guess is. So it just, but I know being over there that they're not as expensive as say Japan, which I lived over there a
Yeah,
couple of
that's
years.
right.
Yeah, Japan, it just uh, their $1 bills are $10. Well, actually, they're probably $15 bills now and stuff. So, but just with I guess things. It makes me wonder what really drives the cost of things up. It's like, is it people just wanting more profit and stuff? And I think
Yeah, it's just
making a profit is good and stuff like that. But you see some of these corporate heads and stuff, the severance packages they get and stuff like that, and it's like that's enough to do the payroll for 2 years in a company sometimes. But
yeah.
so I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like having never really been on a particularly high wage or anything. You just
It's
you can't
mind-boggling.
even work
Exactly.
it out.
Yeah,
Even
I can't
having
even.
sort of studied, having looked into business and running a business and things like that, still not being able to get your head around it. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's not. I agree. It's to me it's like, how the hell do they do that? It's incomprehensible and stuff like that. But what's even more uncomprehensible is some of these companies. Like there's a lot of companies here in the States. They're scaling down. There's layoffs. I've been in a couple companies since I've been out of the service that have had layoffs. And what it comes down to, and one particular, I guess after this one day they were having layoffs, I thought I was going to get laid off. I made peace. It's like, I get laid off, and I told my wife, you'll either get a phone call where I'm 2 sheets under the wind, drinking some beer, and crying in my beer, or else I'll be coming home early. And I didn't come home early that day, and was strange that throughout the course of the day, the manager come up and he tapped somebody on the shoulder and walk them in the office and give them the severance package and whatnot. And so I'm at my machine working, and then it was at the end of the day or after lunch. My manager, you didn't see him, so it was basically what is it? I guess on my coffee break, I went, and my manager's name was Joe, and I said, Joe, can I talk to you? He goes, yeah, come on in, Rich. And he's like, how come I didn't get laid off? And he sort of stood up a little bit, leaned over his desk, and looking out out in the hallway there, make sure nobody was, and goes, Rich, the reality is you're cheap labor. Because the majority of the people that laid off were people that had been there for like 20, 25 years, and they were making like double what I was making.
Yeah.
And he says, not that your work is cheap, you're a damn good worker, and I wish I could pay you more, but it's just your wage is lower than most of the other people that got let go, and along with I guess they got rid of most of the troublemakers, I guess, that were in the company and stuff. So it was a really surreal, rude awakening. It's like, because this is when I was just coming out of service, because in the service you got this planted in your mind that if you're a low person on the totem pole, you're the first one to go. And that's where on the food chain, I just felt I was, low person on totem pole, so I'm going to be heading out the door, and it wasn't the case. So it's just really, one of those life lessons. Like, wow, I'm cheap labor,
but you're cheaper, so you last a bit longer in that role.
Yeah.
But then you're kind of aspiring to something a bit more. It's
you
like,
try to, though.
You try to. Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hear about over in Greece, people over there, they're retiring at 55 or 60, and their country is in the toilet basically. One of the contributing factors there, and and I look at it, I don't think the way things are going, I'm never going to retire because I can't afford it.
Yeah.
whatever the old traditional retirement is and stuff. But it's just interesting, the way life is and stuff, and whatnot. And it's even more interesting, like I said, with this internet, with this Google, well, especially Google Plus Hangout. Well, even with Skype, I guess when I started messing around with Skype there with friends and was being reconnected with family. I got family out there in Wisconsin. My cousins on my mother's side that I hadn't seen since I was younger, and um, I'm I guess I think was one of the first things. I'm not too keen on this Facebook. I'm on it because of family and stuff like that. More lean over on the. I don't know. I guess it's because I got this. I'm not too keen on Zuckerberg to begin with. I guess after seeing the movie and reading the book about Facebook, and but I'm on there. But it's just a good platform to keep in touch with family and stuff like that, and it just makes the world smaller. Even though the world is a pretty good size blue marble, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, Mac is back.
Yeah, I've only popped in just to pop away completely now. As I said, it would have been 8 o'clock at the latest, and because of the hiccup at the start, basically, Rich knows that we lost 20-25 minutes, Rich, at the start, and anyway. You guys have had a great conversation, obviously, while away. I mean,
that's what it's all about, Mac.
That's right.
You don't need me.
No. I'm just glad to finally meet you. Your audiobooks are great. I look forward to them, and it's a good platform. I think this is a good platform to be able to see the face-to-face, communication.
Audio obviously has its place because it's so easy to follow, because you don't have to do what we're doing here in front of cameras and whatever. Audiobook, you can just do the gardening, cycle, walk, whatever you're going to do, and listen to them. But I must admit that I'm quite enthralled by the thought of using Google Hangouts more. And I've even suggested to a guy who I basically not interviewed, but had a conversation with, who belongs to a trust, and that was on Sunday. And I've suggested that what we could actually do is there's 3 or 4 members of that trust to come on and tell us all about it, and something like this, like a hangout in there. They already use Audioboo, but they could probably advance their publicity by doing things like this. So I think it's great. I think it can be integrated with so many things.
Well, the one thing about Audioboo that, other than the boos that we make and stuff like that, and it's a two-way street, just like on with the Google Hangouts here, people using it, and you utilize it more and stuff. And I didn't think I would ever do audio messaging, but the Audioboo is a great platform for that, especially when you have people on the other end that, I have gotten boo messages from Paul Omani and Mark Rock, and I think I'm pretty sure I've gotten a couple from you, Mac, too. I think I first, and I think that's just a neat feature to be able to use that, and along with this, because it's all part of that communication process. And I think it's, the more you use it, the more you get accustomed to it. And I think that's one of the hang-ups I have with Facebook. Facebook, it's there, but it's just like it's not as it's not as a busy timeline compared to some of the people I follow. I'm thinking I can't really, they're either my sister, my brother, or my sister-in-law. Is like I can't drop them because they're family. But some of the stuff they put up there, like, oh my God, it's just like it's like, and and that's the only thing they use. There's a lot of people here in the States, even though Google Plus is growing, and I see, it is growing and stuff like that. I think more people are using it, are internet savvy and stuff like that. But I think for here in the States, people are just so mainstream with Facebook, because they feel safe in it, I guess. And
Yeah.
I think I like using multiple platforms. You know, like Twitter's my mainstay, Audio Boo, and Google Plus I like over Facebook as far as in that order. But be interested to see what's next on the horizon. If I just think there's a lot of potential here at Google Plus, but I think Google has that that stereotype that Google's no longer friendly, they're evil or something like that. Which, well, you're using the service. If you're using the service,
they're saying the same about Apple, basically. So I mean, you just take what you like out of it, I'll have to go, guys. Look, if you want to just keep talking, yes, or if you want to invite somebody along, you do what you're going to do, and I'll just keep an eye on the broadcast. But I really need to go. But when we're talking about Google Hangouts, I came across one today, and it was by Google, and it's an my YouTube advertisement video for how so many people are using Google Plus Hangouts in so many different ways. I'll try and get the link for it, but you probably find it in Google itself, Google Plus, and it's brilliant because it actually goes through several active screens of like us using it, musicians using it, so many other people using it, people who belong to societies, and I think it's going to be. I think it's just going to take off big time. But look, Jamie, thanks very much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And, you really need to boom more.
Yeah.
We don't hear from you at all.
Yes, I know.
Okay, guys, look, I need to go. Thanks.
Cheers.
Okay, cheers, Rich. Cheers, Jamie. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to disappear as well. But
okay, well, it's nice meeting you, Jamie. You said you're on Audio Boo as well?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm following you, and I'll have to check
I remember
that.
listening to a few of yours, definitely. So
I appreciate that. I'm a windbag. A little bit of a windbag, as the wife.
But you did the February, didn't you? This year.
I did it up until what is it? About halfway through, and then there was some stuff going on, and I just had to. There was just some stuff going on with work and stuff like that where I'm at, and whatnot. So usually, if you see a dip on my online services, it's basically I'm taking care of real world things.
Yeah, same. Same.
Yeah, real world always comes first and stuff like that. Even though this is doing something like this becomes part of real world, but yeah, I like doing that. I like the Audio Boo. If I got something of interest, I like I said, the two Audio Booers I love listening to is Bernie Goldbach and Christian Payne. There, documentary. They've got some good content there, and I would have never thought even 5 years ago I'd be that interested in listening to audio. But I look forward every morning. It's like, okay, they're 5 hours ahead. Like what Audio Boos are out there and stuff. But and that's the thing. Sometimes it's just common stuff that's like, oh, that's sometimes the simple things are really interesting and stuff. So I just I'll have to check you out there. And like I said, you appreciate the listens, and I'll be definitely listening.
Motivational tape that you about the greatest fears, that one, and you said you listen to that sometimes before doing stuff, and I've since listening to that, I've found that same piece of audio on YouTube.
It's on YouTube, and that's where I extracted from, and it's actually it's from a race. It's called the Spartan race, which if I ever get my act together, because I used to run a lot years back. And you run 3 different races during the course of the year, and you go through, and it's a gauntlet of things you have to go through. It's called the Spartan race, and they had a race up here, up in Schenectady. It's about 3-hour drives north of here. I was gonna just go up and watch, but I remember coming across it. It's like I listened to that, and it's like that is so inspirational. It just gets the blood going. And it's just like okay, after listening to that, and I listen to it like at least once or twice a week still, and it's just that's one of the good things on this internet, that you're able to get something like that can motivate you and maybe point you in the direction of doing some good stuff in the community or whatever, and stuff. That's why I came across it. I said, I got to put this on audio.
Yeah, definitely. It was good.
just to share. It's just like it's reconstituting content and stuff like that. But just the stuff like that is very interesting. That it's a unique type of thing and stuff like that. And that's what Audible is, just really great. I didn't realize Cinch, which is the American counterpart, I guess, they went under. I guess I finally got the email to that and stuff. So, but hey, I don't want to keep you here. I know it's running late over there for you. You probably want to spend some time with the family. Again, it really fantastic talking with you.
Thanks a lot, Rich. Brilliant.
Yeah.
I'll catch you again at some point. Thanks.
Will do. Yeah.
Cheers.
Okay. Ciao for now.
Thanks. Bye bye.